So today's Thursday business tip is going to be on having an Etsy shop. So I know that a lot of you that have been following me have asked me tons of questions about Etsy, about having an Etsy shop, and I'm going to give you some tips on that. So it's easy to set up an Etsy shop. It's not difficult. There are a lot of little things that you need to know about Etsy, and one of them is that when you set up an Etsy store, a lot of people get really confused because the way Etsy works is when you sell something, you get paid for both the item and the shipping, and then you get billed for the shipping. So a lot of times people will open an Etsy shop and they don't realize that their bill includes shipping, and so they think that it costs a lot of money to run an Etsy shop, but it doesn't. If you look at your bill, you can tell that it really is, the majority of it is shipping cost. So it costs 20 cents to list an item in Etsy, and then you pay a certain percentage over that. You're going to pay that no matter what you use, whether you're using Square, Shopify, Etsy, your website. Everyone is going to charge you for processing credit cards. It's just kind of how it goes. So that's the first thing to keep in mind when you're thinking about opening an Etsy shop. Some of the important things that you need to set up when you're doing Etsy is you need to make sure that your shop has a banner, and you want your banner to be not busy. You want it to be simple, nice. You can use Canva, and we will do a video tip on Canva, but you want your banner to be clear about what it is that your shop offers. So if you're selling bath products, have pictures of bath products up there. Have your shop name up there. Say what it is that you sell. If you're selling wreaths, have wreaths up there. Now, you don't need to have a lot. Just pick your favorite one and put that up there. So the second thing that you want is you want to make sure that you have all your policies filled out. So Etsy actually goes ahead and kind of gets you started on your policies, but you want to make sure that you fill your policies out completely. You want to make sure that you're telling people what your return policy is, because you don't want them to question it. Because if they're having to look for things in your shop, they're going to go to another shop, because there are a lot of shops out there. So you want to make sure that you have everything set up, that it's clear, and it makes it easy for people to figure out, what you sell and what your policies are, how long it's going to take you to send it, and those types of things. So then the most important thing that I can tell you about having an Etsy store is picture perfect. If you don't have great pictures, they're not going to buy from you. So it's really important that you're careful when you take your pictures. If you can, take your pictures outside. If you can't take your pictures outside, then try to take a picture next to a window. You want to make sure that you edit your pictures. There's a lot of free tools out there for editing pictures. Just do a search on it. If you're using your phone, get an editor on your phone, because you want to be sure that your pictures look as close to your product in person as you can get it. Because if you don't, they're not going to buy it. If you're taking a picture and there are a lot of shadows on it, or it's dark and people can't tell what the colors are, they're not going to buy from you, because they can't really tell how fabulous your product is because they can't see it. So it's really, 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 really vitally important that those pictures are the thing that you spend the most time on. So spend a lot of time on your pictures and make sure that if you put your picture next to your product, that's what it looks like. For one thing, it helps people to know that that's what they want, and it also doesn't give them a false sense of what they're getting, because you want to make sure that you're going to get positive feedback, and in order to do that, you really need to be very upfront about what it is you're selling, what you're offering, and that the picture reflects it. So the next big thing with having an Etsy shop is keywords. You know, keywords are so important, whether you are on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Etsy. If you're selling online, if you are doing anything to attract people online, especially if it's a shop, keyword is key, as they say. So you need to do a lot of research for your keywords, and there's a lot of ways you can do that. You know, you can just look at other sellers on Etsy and see what keywords they're using, and you know, take a little time. It's a great idea if you're going to be selling similar products over and over again, that you set yourself up like a little spreadsheet or something like that, so that you have your common keywords that you're using, and you can just grab them and put them out on your link. You want to make sure your descriptions are accurate. You don't want people to have to question, you know, things about it. Let's say you're selling a ring. If the size of the ring isn't listed, they're going to get frustrated. They don't want to send you messages and ask you about it. So make sure that your descriptions are clear, your keywords are filled out. You want to use as many picture spaces, and you want to use all your tags. They give you 13 tags, so make sure you use them all. Use the maximum length of your description. Okay, so the last tip I'm going to give you is a question that I get a lot. So the question I get a lot is, how many products do I need to have in my Etsy shop? So a good rule of thumb is to start with about 6 products, but you don't want to keep it at 6 products, because if you do, people aren't going to think you're serious and they're going to move on to another shop. So you want to put new things in there as often as you can, whether that's once a week, once a day. You don't want it to be, you know, less often than once a week. You want to keep fresh things in your shop. And these are the things that really are going to help you kind of start your Etsy shop and, you know, really get it going. So I did write a blog post on this on my website, and it really kind of goes through the same things that we've talked about here. So I will put a link in the description, and you can just follow the link and go read the blog post. I put a few more things in there, but I hope this helps you, and it kind of gives you some courage to go ahead and start your shop, because you're not going to make any sales and you're not going to get anywhere unless you start. You just have to start somewhere. So just get started, okay? And I will be back in a week with some more business tips. I know for sure I'm going to be doing one on pricing, because I do get requests for that pretty often. And I'm going to do some on social media. So if there's something else that you want me to talk about and give you some tips on, just let me know. And I will see you in a week. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.